My twin sister came to visit me in the hospital, her whole body covered in bruises. The moment I saw her, I knew someone was hurting her. Right then, I decided that I would take her place and teach the person responsible a lesson he would never forget. My name is Ava, and my twin sister's name is Grace. We look exactly alike, like two drops of water, but our lives have always been completely different, like oil and water, like heaven and earth. People always said something was wrong with me. Some even called me crazy. The doctors used softer words. They said I had an impulse control disorder and couldn't regulate my emotions properly. Me? I describe it differently. I feel too much. I feel everything 10 times stronger than most people. When I'm happy, it feels like my chest will explode. When I'm angry, well, that anger is the reason I'm in this place. When I was 16, I broke a boy's arm with a chair in the middle of the street. He didn't touch me, but he was grabbing Grace by her hair, trying to drag her into a dark alley. Grace was crying, and I felt my blood boil. I don't remember exactly what I did. I just remember the sound of the bone snapping, the boy screaming, and the look on everyone's faces. They didn't look at him. They were looking at me, like I was a demon. My parents were already struggling before, but after that, things got worse. They were scared of me. Eventually, they brought me to Crestwood State Hospital. Just like that, 10 years passed. 10 years in a tiny white room. 10 years watching the world through iron bars. 10 years where my only companions were my medication and the screams of other patients. But honestly, I didn't hate the place. It was peaceful. Nobody bothered me. I could read. I could exercise. And for the past 10 years, I trained every single day, push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, anything to burn the fire inside me. My body became lean, solid, and strong. Stronger than most men out there. But I had one weakness. One constant worry. My sister Grace. She took all our mother's softness, and I took all our father's fierceness. Grace was gentle, too gentle, the type who could never hurt anyone. The day they took me away, she cried until her eyes were swollen. Ava, it should have been me who left. I'm useless. I slapped her, the only time in my life I ever hit her. If you say that nonsense again, I'll break out of this place and choke you. You must live. You must be happy, live for both of us. She promised she would. The next year, she visited with a man. She said they were getting married. His name was Marcus Rakes. He was tall and handsome, but his eyes were wrong. They moved too much. And when he looked at me, I sensed something dark, something arrogant. I squeezed Grace's hand and said, I don't like this man. Think again, Grace. She just gave a small sad smile. With my luck, it's a miracle anyone wants to marry me. My parents are old. He promised to take care of me. I wanted to scream, to break the glass between us, but what could I do? I was the crazy one. Who would listen to me? They got married. I couldn't attend. Grace still visited monthly, always bringing fruits or pastries. She talked about her life, her pregnancy, her daughter, Luna. She tried to sound happy, but she wasn't fooling me. She was thinner. Her eye bags were darker. Her smiles were weak and forced. She always wore long sleeves, even under the burning July sun. I asked her many times why, but she always gave some excuse about modesty. Another lie. She was hiding something. Today was another visiting day. I waited all morning. The Luna was gray, and so was my heart. I had a terrible feeling. The anger I'd controlled for 10 years started rising again. Slow, dangerous, hungry. It only needed one drop of blood to wake up. And today that drop came. The lock clicked and the heavy door opened. Grace walked in and my heart squeezed. This wasn't my sister. This was a broken shadow of her. Her blouse was worn out. Her collar was tight around her neck. Her hair was messy. Her face pale and hollow. But what scared me the most were her eyes. Once bright and sweet, now dead and empty. And under her left cheekbone was a faint purple bruise covered with cheap makeup. She forced a smile. Ava, how are you? Her voice shook like dry leaves. She placed a basket of cheap bruised oranges on the table. I didn't answer. I stepped close to her and touched the bruise on her cheek. She flinched hard, stepping back like a scared bird. It's nothing. I fell off my bike. You fell off your bike? I repeated, my voice cold. You fall and only bruise one eye? How do you even fall like that? She looked down, twisting her fingers. Her hands were swollen, her knuckles red, her nails broken. Those were not the hands of a woman who fell. Those were the hands of a woman fighting for her life. Anger rose inside me. I took a slow breath. I'm asking you, why are you wearing long sleeves in this heat? I don't like the sun. I've been feeling weak lately. That was the final straw. I grabbed her wrist. She cried out softly, trying to pull away. Ava, what are you doing? It hurts. That it hurts poured gasoline on my rage. I yanked her sleeve up. And I saw it. Hell. Everywhere. Her arms were covered in bruises. Old, new, deep swollen. Round marks from fingers digging into her skin. Long marks like she'd been whipped. I dropped her hand. My body shook, not with fear, but with rage. That bastard. Marcus. It wasn't a question. It was the truth. Grace stopped pretending. The dam broke. She fell to the floor, grabbed my legs, and cried like her soul was breaking. Ava, save me. Help me. He hits me. He hits me all the time. His mother, his sister, they treat me worse than a dog. And he hits Luna too. He hits Luna. That last sentence froze me. He hit Luna. He hit my 3-year-old niece. I bent down and lifted her. This time she didn't even resist. She collapsed into my arms, exhausted and empty. I looked into her eyes, my eyes, but filled with only pain. Stop crying, I said, my voice low and rough. Crying won't fix anything. Tell me everything. What has he done to you? What has he done to Luna? I sat her on my metal bed and gave her water. She drank between tears and began talking. Every word was another stab to my heart. At the start, she said, he behaved at least in front of our parents. But when I moved in, that's when I discovered real hell. Marcus was a gambling addict. He earned little from his warehouse job but wasted everything on betting and online casinos. He blew through all their wedding money in 3 months. When I tried to talk to him, she whispered, he slapped me. He said, "What do you know, woman? It's my money. I'll do what I want." That was the beginning of constant beatings. If he lost money, he hit her. If he won money, he still hit her, saying she made him miss out on more. My fists clenched so tight my nails cut my palms. I didn't even feel it. But the worst wasn't Marcus, she continued. It was his mother, Mrs. Evelyn, a cruel, controlling woman who treated Grace like a burden. She humiliated her every day, insulting her cooking, making her redo chores endlessly, and even forcing her to hand-wash everyone's underwear, including the sister-in-laws. I closed my eyes for a moment, just imagining my gentle, timid Grace crouching on the floor washing filthy underwear made my stomach turn. And the sister-in-law? I growled. Grace shook her head sadly. Vanessa got divorced, moved back in with her mom, and now lives rent-free in the house. She treated me like a maid. She left her dirty clothes everywhere and ordered me to wash them. And her son, Mason, that boy is spoiled beyond repair. He bullied Luna every single day. My eyes snapped open. What did he do to Luna? Grace broke down crying again. Luna is only 3, Ava, and Mason is 5. He stole her toys, pushed her around, threw her on the floor. He even spat in her food. And when I tried to stop him, Vanessa would storm in screaming at me. Grace mimicked her sister-in-law's voice through tears. Who do you think you are to scold my son? Your daughter doesn't even have a father. Grace choked. And sometimes she encouraged her son to hit Luna. She told him spoiled kids need to learn to fight. Mrs. Evelyn, Grace's mother-in-law, just sat there watching and laughing. They're only kids. Your daughter is stronger. She should let him have his way. And Marcus? I asked, my voice raw. Your husband, the father of that child? Grace lowered her head and whispered, barely audible. He looked the other way. He kept saying women should give birth to sons, that a daughter is useless. She hesitated. Talk, I said sharply. Grace flinched. Yesterday he came home drunk. He'd lost all his money betting again. Luna was crying because Mason was pulling her hair and he snapped. He screamed. Shut up, you useless brat. When she cried louder, Grace touched her cheek as she sobbed. He hit Luna in the face. I whispered the words back, feeling like someone had wrapped a hand around my throat. He hit Luna. In the face. Grace nodded, tears running non-stop. She's only 3, Ava. The mark of his 5 fingers was on her cheek. When I tried to protect her, he hit me too. He dragged me to the bathroom and slammed my head against the sink. I thought he was going to kill me. I couldn't breathe. Her voice cracked. And the bruises on my arms, those were from his mother and sister. Instead of stopping him, they joined in. Vanessa scratched me with a comb. Mrs. Evelyn shoved dirty socks in my mouth to shut me up. That was the limit. Something snapped inside me. I was done with patience. Done with silence. I stood up so fast Grace jumped back, terrified. Ava, what are you going to do? I walked to the small metal mirror on the wall. I stared at myself. My face looked pale, but my eyes were burning. I turned back to Grace. We were identical. Same face. Same height. Same body. The only difference was that Grace was dying inside. And I had just come back to life. Sister. I said in a calm, frightening voice. You didn't come here today for a visit. You came to swap your life. Grace froze, staring at me in horror. Ava, what are you saying? Swap. Our lives. I held her gaze steady and unbroken. You stay here. I go out. No. No. Grace shook her head and grabbed my hand. Ava, that house is hell. Those people are animals. You've been locked up for 10 years. You won't survive out there. And what about the documents? How are you even going to leave? I gave her a cold, thin smile. You're wrong, sister. Because I've been here for 10 years, I'm the only one who can survive those animals. I pointed at the iron bars on the window. I've lived with animals here too. The difference is, these ones are locked up. The ones outside are running free. I gently removed her hand and grabbed her shoulders. Listen carefully. You're not crazy. That's why you can't fight them. I am crazy. Only someone like me can handle trash like that. She whispered. Are you going to escape? I smiled slightly. No. I'm walking out the front door with honor. I pulled her to the mirror. Look. We are the same. Who can tell the difference between Grace and Ava? Grace stared at our reflection, trembling. She knew I was right. This is the plan, I said quickly. Visiting time was almost over. Take off your clothes. I'll remove my hospital uniform. Ava, but. No buts. I cut her off sharply. Do you want Luna to keep getting beaten? Do you want to rot and suffer forever? Trust me. I didn't stay 10 years in here for nothing. I've been waiting for this day. I explained everything. From now on, you are Ava. You're safe here. Nobody will hit you. The staff here is kind. They don't understand me, but they won't bother you. If anyone asks you something, you don't have to answer. Just nod or shake your head. They're used to it. They'll say, Ava is quiet today. That's it. You just eat, sleep, and read. I pointed at the shelf. Read all the books I read. Rest. Breathe. Stay alive. I held her gaze steady and calm. You don't have to do anything. Just wait for me. I will clean that entire house out. I'll make them pay. And I'll get Luna out of there. I promise. Grace's terrified eyes slowly softened into a small spark of hope. She had nothing left to lose. She nodded. Be careful, she whispered. I know. We changed clothes quickly. I put on her worn-out clothes, smelling of fear, mildew, and dried blood. Rage rose in me again. I slipped her ID and house keys into my pocket. Grace, in the hospital uniform, suddenly looked small and fragile. I hugged her tightly. Don't move from here. Wait for me. The bell rang. Visiting time was over. I took a deep breath and walked to the door. The nurse glanced at me and nodded. Mrs. Raikes leaving now? I nodded with a trembling smile just like Grace's. The heavy ward door slammed behind me with a loud metal echo. I walked out of the hospital's main entrance. The scorching summer sunlight hit my face. 10 years. 10 years since I felt real air. It smelled like car exhaust, dust, and noisy streets. but to me it smelled like war. I touched the keys in my pocket. Marcus. Mrs. Evelyn. Vanessa. Mason. I'm coming. I took a bus, then walked almost a mile. Following Grace's directions, I reached a dark, twisting alley on the east side. The houses were cramped together, damp, with tangled wires overhead. The smell of sewage hit me. I stopped in front of their broken-down house. Rusty gate. Cracked walls. Grace had lived here. My neat, gentle sister had been buried alive in a place worse than my cell. My hands trembled as I opened the gate. The inside was even worse. Clothes everywhere. Dirty plates covered in flies. A sticky floor. A horrible sour smell. Then I saw Luna. She was sitting in the darkest corner beside an old cabinet, tiny and thin. Her dress was torn, too small, her skin pale. She held a headless doll tightly. When she heard the door, she flinched. She looked up, but instead of running to her mother, she shrank back in fear. My heart shattered. What had these animals done to her? I forced my face soft and knelt down. Luna, Mommy is here. She trembled, staring at me, looking behind me for someone else. And then a bitter voice answered. So you crawled back already? Mrs. Evelyn waddled out. Short, heavy gray skin tone, loud floral pajamas, holding a hand fan. Where were you all day, huh? Went to see your crazy sister? Useless woman. She spit on the floor right beside me. You bring anything back or just return again to eat our food? I rose slowly, shielding Luna behind me. I stared at her. Not talking. Just staring deeply into her rotten eyes. She noticed it. The daughter-in-law who used to cower was standing tall now. What? What are you staring at? She hissed. You want me to poke your eyes? I gave her a tiny, slow smile. Sorry, mother-in-law. I didn't hear you clearly. My smile made her flinch. Before she replied, another sharp voice cut in. Oh, Mom, don't waste time on her. Tell her to cook. I'm starving. Vanessa appeared. Overweight, messy blonde hair, acne, loud clothes. Behind her was Mason, the arrogant 5-year-old. The moment he saw Luna, he ran to her. Hey, give me that doll. He snatched the headless doll out of her hands. Luna cried immediately. Give it back. It's mine. No. Your toys are mine. He threw the doll against the wall. Who plays with this trash? Then he shoved Luna hard. Why are you crying? Shut up or I'll hit you again. Luna fell. Her sobs stopped in her throat, too scared even to cry. Mrs. Evelyn and Vanessa laughed loudly. That's my boy, Vanessa bragged. Real men act like that. Not like that weak little brat. My rage rose like a monster breaking free. 10 years of anger. Finished. My smile disappeared. Mason, noticing Luna wasn't crying, got bolder. He lifted his foot to kick her. A hand caught his ankle midair. He fell backward, but his ankle stayed trapped, held in my grip. The house went silent. Mason screamed. Let go of me. You crazy witch. How dare you touch me? I squeezed a little. He shrieked. Ow. It hurts. Grandma. Mom. She's breaking my leg. Vanessa rushed forward. Grace. Are you insane? Let go of my son. She lunged at me, nails ready. Still holding Mason with one hand, I caught her wrist with the other. My grip was like iron. Sister-in-law. I said calmly. You should raise your son better. He may be a child, but he can't behave like a monster. If he touches Luna again. I squeezed her wrist slightly. Both Mason and Vanessa screamed in pain. The next time, I said coldly. I won't stop at just breaking one leg. Mom. Mom, help me. Vanessa cried, terrified, calling her mother. Mrs. Evelyn finally snapped out of her shock. She shook with anger. The daughter-in-law she used to beat and insult every day had dared to fight back. I had touched her daughter and her precious grandson. You're crazy, Mrs. Evelyn shouted. She grabbed a feather duster that was nearby. You've grown too bold. Today, I'll beat you to death, she yelled. She swung the duster and started hitting my back over and over. I didn't even move. My back was used to worse at the hospital. Slowly, I let go of Mason and Vanessa. Mother and son quickly backed away. When Mrs. Evelyn saw that I wasn't reacting, She became even braver. "I'll beat that insolence out of you so you remember your place," she shouted. I slowly straightened up and turned to face her. She kept hitting my shoulders and chest with the duster. I lifted my hand and grabbed the handle. Mrs. Evelyn tried to pull it back, shocked, but it didn't move at all. I looked at her. She looked at me. Her eyes were full of anger. Mine were cold and empty. I yanked the duster hard. Mrs. Evelyn stumbled forward. Then I snapped the handle in half. Crack. I dropped the pieces at her feet. "From today," I said calmly, "this house will have rules." I looked at the old woman, panting and stunned, at Vanessa holding her wrist with a shaking hand, and at the nephew still whimpering. "It's dinner time. What's for dinner, mother-in-law?" I asked. Mrs. Evelyn, trapped between fear and rage, stammered. "Teach the dinner. The rotten tilapia you brought from the market yesterday. Make a stew with it, very salty and dry, so we don't waste the money I feed your family with." There it was, the famous dish Grace had told me about. The salty fish stew they forced her to cook and eat again and again. "Yes, mother-in-law," I said. "I will." Leaving the three of them staring in shock, I walked to the kitchen. The fish in the basin smelled rotten. Calmly, I cleaned it and put it in a pot to stew. I poured in half a pack of salt. I let it cook until all the liquid dried up and the fish burned almost black. The smell of burnt salt and fish filled the whole house. I set the table. A bowl of yesterday's cold rice, a plate of yellowish boiled vegetables, and my masterpiece, the tilapia stew. "Mother-in-law, sister-in-law, nephew dinner," I called. Mrs. Evelyn sat down heavily and grabbed a big piece of fish, stuffing it into her mouth. Her expression changed immediately. Her face went from red to purple. She spat it out. "Geez, this is so salty. It's so salty. Are you trying to kill me?" she screamed. I calmly picked up some vegetables and said, "You told me to make it salty and dry. I followed your instructions. Is it to your liking?" "To my liking, my foot," she shouted. Furious, she grabbed the hot clay pot with her bare hands. "I'll smash this pot on your face." Just as she leaned it toward me, boom, I slammed my hand on the table. The cheap wooden table shook violently. Plates and cutlery rattled. "Put it down," I said. My voice wasn't loud, but it shocked all of them. Mrs. Evelyn's hand froze. She looked at me and saw the eyes of a madwoman. "You're not going to waste food," I said in a low voice. "If you don't eat, it's a waste. Do you want me to feed you? A daughter-in-law must serve her mother-in-law, right?" I stood up and walked around the table with a large spoon in my hand. I scooped up a piece of burnt fish. "Come on, mother-in-law. Open your mouth." "Why, you're crazy," Mrs. Evelyn said, terrified, pushing her chair back. With one hand, I grabbed her chin and squeezed. Her mouth opened by force. I shoved the spoonful of fish into her mouth. "Eat," I snarled. "Taste what my sister Grace has been forced to eat for years. Taste what respect for someone's hard work feels like." Mrs. Evelyn coughed and choked. Tears and snot ran down her face. The hard, salty fish stuck in her throat. She tried to spit it out, but I held her jaw tightly. "Swallow," I ordered. Vanessa couldn't stand it anymore. Watching her mother like that triggered her rage again. She forgot her fear, and her old arrogance returned. "Hey, Grace. Let go of my mother right now. How dare you force-feed her?" she shouted. She rushed at me, hands ready to claw my face. She thought that because I was busy holding the old woman, I wouldn't react. She was wrong. My left hand held Mrs. Evelyn's chin. My right hand was free. Without even turning my head, I swung my right hand back. Splat. The sound echoed like a small explosion. It wasn't like a normal slap. It sounded like hitting a slab of meat with a board. Vanessa froze. She spun and crashed into the wall. Her cheek went from pale to dark red and started swelling immediately. The clear print of my fingers appeared on her face. Her ears rang. Her eyes were wide with shock. She touched her cheek, then looked at my hand like it was a weapon. She, who had spent her whole life slapping and insulting others, had just been slapped for the very first time. And by the sister-in-law she always called trash. I finally released Mrs. Evelyn's jaw. She fell to the floor and crawled away, vomiting the fish. I turned slowly toward Vanessa. Sister-in-law, I said, my voice like ice. Does your cheek hurt? She trembled with fear and humiliation. You hit me? I'm your sister-in-law, she stammered. I only slapped you, I replied, walking toward her. She backed up until her back hit the wall. Do you want to know what a real beating feels like? Like the one you and your mother gave Grace last night when you helped Marcus. I repeated Grace's words exactly. Vanessa's face turned white. How do you know that? She whispered. I know everything, I said with a cold smile. I know you scratched my sister with a comb, and your mother stuffed dirty socks in her mouth. Do you want to try it? I glanced at the pile of Mason's dirty socks in the corner. Vanessa screamed. No. You're a demon. You're not Grace. She ran to her room and slammed the door, locking it. Mrs. Evelyn, seeing her daughter flee, scrambled to her own room and shut the door as well. Mason, seeing his grandmother and mother getting hit, peed in his pants and ran silently behind his mother's door. The house went dead silent. Only Luna and I remained in the living room. And the steaming salty fish stew on the table. I turned around. Luna was still sitting in her corner. She wasn't crying. She just stared at me with big eyes. The fear in her gaze had faded a little, replaced by surprise and a strange curiosity. My heart ached. I threw the dirty spoon into the sink and went to the kitchen. I knew this trash family never let Grace and Luna eat with them. Grace had told me that Mrs. Evelyn kept the good food in a separate fridge just for herself. I opened the old fridge. As expected, chicken, ham, yogurt, fruit. I took out a cooked chicken leg and a yogurt. I also found the portion of fresh rice Grace had secretly saved for Luna. I heated it up. On a clean tray, I placed a big serving of rice and shredded the chicken on top. I carried it to Luna. Eat, little one, I said softly. Eat until you're full. From today, nobody will take your food. Nobody will hit you. I sat beside her. Luna looked at me shakily, then at the plate. The smell of chicken filled the room. She was starving. She slowly took the spoon, put one spoonful in her mouth, and burst into tears. This time it wasn't fear. She cried as she ate. I didn't tell her to stop crying. I just sat there, stroking her back gently. Eat, little one. Eat everything. Mommy is here. Luna finished the whole plate and drank the yogurt. When she was done, she looked at me, hesitated, then got up and wrapped her little arms around my neck. Her hug was weak, but it shocked me. Mommy, she whispered. Mommy is a little different today. I hugged her tightly. Mommy just decided not to be afraid anymore, I said. That night, I slept with Luna in my arms. She slept deeply. Who knew how long it had been since she'd felt full and safe? But I didn't sleep. I lay there awake listening. The snoring I heard wasn't Marcus. He wasn't home yet. It was rats in the next room. I was waiting for someone else. Grace had told me. Marcus' shift ended at 11 p.m., and he always came home drunk. Exactly at 11:30, I heard a motorcycle engine outside, then brakes screeching, then stumbling footsteps and curses. Damn it, I lost again. Lost everything. Open the door, he shouted. Marcus, the monster, was back. Luna jerked awake in my arms and buried her face in my chest. I'm scared, Mommy. I'm scared. Daddy's here, she sobbed. Hush, I whispered. Sleep. Mommy is here. Boom. The front door was kicked open. I hadn't locked it. A tall man staggered in, a head taller than me, stinking of cheap alcohol, cigarettes, and sweat. His work clothes were greasy and dirty. His eyes were bloodshot. This was the demon who had tortured my sister. This was the man who slapped his 3-year-old child. Grace, where are you? He shouted, tongue heavy with alcohol. Where are you hiding? Not seeing anyone, he grabbed a glass I had washed and left clean on the table and smashed it against the bedroom wall. Crash. Glass flew everywhere. Luna screamed and cried again. I'm scared, Mommy. I'm scared. I held her close. Hush. Stay here. Mommy's going to see what's happening. I laid her back on the bed and covered her with the blanket. Close your eyes. Cover your ears. Mommy will finish soon. Then I walked out. Marcus saw me and gave an evil, drunken smile. Ah, there you are. Where's the water? I'm thirsty. Go get me water. Now. I stood still, about 10 feet away, not moving. He frowned. Grace usually ran to serve him immediately. Are you deaf? He shouted. He looked for something else to throw. You're acting up tonight. I'll have to teach you another lesson. He staggered toward me. I lost money today. I'm in a bad mood. You better obey, he growled. He raised his hand for a slap. The same slap he'd used on Grace for 7 years. The same one he'd used on Luna yesterday. I'm going to beat you so. His arm stopped in midair. I had grabbed his wrist. Marcus froze, eyes wide. He tried to pull away, but couldn't. My hand was like iron. What are you doing? Let go of me, he yelled. He could tell something was wrong now. He was drunk, not stupid. How could gentle, weak Grace suddenly be this strong? He tried to punch me with his other hand. It was a drunk punch, but strong enough to break someone's teeth. I kept holding his wrist and just tilted my head. His fist only grazed my ear. He stared at me in disbelief. Baby, I said in a sweet, chilling voice. Tired from work? You bitch, he snapped. He tried again to break free, but I squeezed harder. Crack. A sharp, dry sound. His wrist dislocated. Marcus screamed in pain. That scream sobered him up instantly. And my hand. What did you do to my hand? He cried, collapsing to his knees. I didn't let go. I pulled him back up. Hitting people has become a habit for you, hasn't it? I asked quietly. You're not Grace. Who are you? He hissed. I'm your wife, I smiled. The same wife you love to smash against the sink. Then I slapped him. Splat. This wasn't Grace's slap. It was mine. 10 years of rage poured into one hit. The big man flew sideways, hit the wall, and fell face first to the floor. His cheeks swelled and started bleeding. He was dizzy and stunned. A woman had hit him. Mom. Vanessa. Help me, he screamed, panicking. Save me. Grace has gone crazy. She's hitting me. The doors of both rooms stayed shut. Mrs. Evelyn and Vanessa heard him but didn't budge. They shook with fear behind their doors like the cowards they were. No one came. Marcus realized he was alone. Pain, shame, and leftover alcohol mixed in him and turned into rage. The wounded pride of a man who couldn't accept being beaten by his wife. You dare hit me? I'll kill you, he roared. He charged at me like an enraged bull, arms open, trying to crush me. I sighed. Too slow. As he rushed in, I didn't step back. I stepped forward. I ducked, grabbed his hair, and yanked his head down. With my other hand, I drove a punch deep into his solar plexus. Boom. The dull sound echoed. Marcus bent over, gasping. His eyes rolled. Saliva and stomach acid spilled out of his mouth. He couldn't even scream, only wheeze. I still held his hair. This, I whispered into his ear, is for Luna. I yanked his head up. And this, splat, is for my sister Grace. I slapped him again. I dragged him across the floor. He was heavy and bulky, but now he was like a sack of potatoes. I dragged him to the bathroom. The small, dirty bathroom. You like banging your wife's head into water, right? I said. I filled the sink with water, grabbed his hair, and shoved his head in. Refreshing, honey? I whispered. Marcus struggled like a pig in a slaughterhouse. The dirty water bubbled. I held him down. I lifted his head just enough for one gasp, then shoved it back under. Refreshing, honey, I repeated sweetly. Is the water cold? Didn't you enjoy doing this to Grace? You heard her begging. You saw her fear. Gee gulp, help, he choked. I pulled his head up again. His face was pale, eyes rolling, water, mucus, and spit dripping. He was shaking. The alcohol had disappeared. Only terror remained. He looked at me like I was a ghost. The big man who had just threatened to kill me had peed his pants. The smell was disgusting. I frowned. Disgusting, I muttered and dropped him. He collapsed on the bathroom floor, coughing and vomiting violently. He threw up everything, alcohol, food, bile. I stared at him with cold disgust, then looked at my hands. For 10 years, I had used them to read and exercise. Now I was using them to clean up human garbage. I left him whimpering like a dying animal and walked out. I heard the door to Mrs. Evelyn and Vanessa's room open a crack, then slam shut. They had seen everything. Good. The more they saw, the more afraid they'd be. In the kitchen, I noticed the pot of salty fish stew from earlier, the one Mrs. Evelyn had vomited. An idea came. A dark, satisfying idea. Grace had told me that Mrs. Evelyn was the mastermind, the real brain. Marcus was just the muscle. To stop a dog from biting, you break its teeth. But to make a dog stop loving its owner, you make it fear and hate its owner. I looked around and found a plastic basin in the laundry area, full of dirty clothes. The smell was sour and strong. Grace hadn't washed yesterday's load. On top, I spotted Mrs. Evelyn's old underwear. A slow smile spread across my face. I put a big pot of water on the stove, grabbed a stick, and threw her panties inside. The water started to boil, bubbling hard. The smell that rose was worse than sewage. Meanwhile, Marcus had crawled out of the bathroom. He dragged himself to his mother's door. "Mom. Mom, help me. That woman is crazy. Mom," he sobbed. The door stayed closed. Inside, Mrs. Evelyn trembled and shouted, "Go away. Don't come near me. If you're crazy, die alone." Marcus froze. His own mother, the one who always encouraged him, protected him, and told him to hit his wife, was now abandoning him. He turned toward me and saw me stirring a strange broth in the pot. He didn't understand. Not yet. I took a ladle and filled a bowl with the yellowish, thick water from the pot. I set it down in front of him. "Drink," I said. He stared at it. What is this?" "Medicine," he asked. "Yes," I said calmly. "A medicine for abusive husbands. For ungrateful sons. For men who hit their wives just because their mothers tell them to. Drink honey." He sniffed it. His face went white. He understood. "And no, you're a demon," he cried, crawling backward. "A demon." I laughed. Compared to choking a woman in dirty water, slapping a 3-year-old, and making people eat trash, this is gentle. I grabbed his hair and yanked his head back. "I told you," I snarled. "This house will have rules. Rule number 1. You reap what you sow. Your mother sowed the seed, so you, her son, will eat the fruit. Drink." I forced his mouth open and poured the horrible water down his throat. He gagged and tried to vomit, but I held him firm. He had no choice but to swallow bit by bit. The door to Mrs. Evelyn's room burst open. She saw the pot, the boiled underwear, and her son drinking the broth. Her eyes rolled back. "My God, you," she gasped. Marcus vomited violently. This time bowel came up. Mrs. Evelyn stared at her son, then at me. All the wickedness was gone from her face. Only raw fear remained. She collapsed and fainted. "Perfect," I said softly. "One down." I looked at Marcus shaking on the floor. "See? Your mother fainted. Now get lost in your room. If I hear even one sound from you tonight, I'll make you drink all the water in that basin of dirty laundry." Using the last of his strength, driven by fear, Marcus crawled away to his room. The house was finally quiet. The next morning, the house was as silent as a grave. I woke up early and bathed Luna. I took the good food from Mrs. Evelyn's fridge and cooked a proper breakfast for us: fried eggs, sautéed beef. Luna ate happily. Light was slowly returning to her eyes. From the other rooms, there wasn't a sound. Marcus, Vanessa, and Mrs. Evelyn, the 3 demons from yesterday, were now like dead rats. They didn't even dare come out. I didn't care. I fed Luna and put cartoons on for her. Around 9 a.m., there was a loud, firm knock at the door. "Who is it?" I asked. "Police." "Open the door." I smiled and opened it. 2 officers were there, one older and one younger. Both looked serious. The younger one glanced at my face and arms, still marked by Grace's old bruises. "Are you Grace Rakes, the wife of Marcus Rakes?" he asked. "Yes," I said calmly. "I am." "We received a report from Marcus," the younger officer said. "He says you violently assaulted him." Right then, Marcus limped out of the room. His face was swollen, one cheek bruised, one wrist bandaged. He walked with an exaggerated limp, acting like a victim. Seeing the police, he cried out like a saved man. "Officers, look at me. She hit me," he shouted, pointing at his face. She. He couldn't bring himself to describe what really happened. "She's crazy. She's the sister of that lunatic from the psychiatric hospital. The madness rubbed off on her. Arrest her. Lock her up. Mrs. Evelyn and Vanessa peeked out from their rooms, ready to back him up. It's true, officers, Mrs. Evelyn said. She hit her husband, her mother-in-law, and her sister-in-law. Vanessa pointed to her swollen cheek. Look what she did to me. The older officer frowned. He looked at big, bulky Marcus, then at me, small, thin, but clearly strong. Mrs. Rakes, he said. Is what they're saying true? Did you assault them? I didn't deny it. Yes, officer, I answered quietly. I hit them. Marcus and the two women lit up with excitement. See? She confessed. Arrest her, they shouted. But, I continued calmly. I did it in self-defense. My husband, my mother-in-law, and my sister-in-law beat me first. Lies, Marcus yelled. When did I ever hit you? I turned to the older officer. Officer, I asked politely. My husband says I assaulted him. Can I ask? What exactly is assault? The younger officer snapped. Leaving your husband's face like that definitely counts as assault. Yes, I nodded. Then if a husband leaves his wife full of bruises, chokes her in water, and swells her face, is that also assault? The older officer paused. He was starting to understand. You mean? He asked. I mean this, I said. I went to the room and brought out a stack of documents. Grace had collected them over time and brought them to me yesterday. I had kept them safe. I laid them on the table. This is my medical report from 3 months ago. Broken ribs. The doctor said it was from a strong impact. I took out a photo. This was my face 2 months ago. Broken nose. My husband said I fell. I laid out several more files. These are reports of bruises on my arms and back. Belt marks. Scratches. There are many, officers. I've lived here for 7 years. 7 years of beatings. Who do I report to? If I tell the neighbors, they say it's a family issue. If I come to the police, they tell me to sort it out at home. I looked Marcus straight in the eyes. He trembled. I rolled up my sleeve and showed the fresh marks on my skin. This one is from the day before yesterday, I said. My husband slapped my daughter in the face. When I tried to protect her, he dragged me to the bathroom and tried to drown me. My mother-in-law and sister-in-law helped him hold me down. Both officers looked stunned. They glanced from me to the three of them. I endured it for 7 years, I said, my voice shaking. Last night, my husband came home drunk, kicked the door open, smashed things, and tried to hit me and my daughter again. I couldn't take it anymore. I reacted. I hit him once. He has hit me thousands of times. I turned to the officers fully. I want to ask you something, officers. If a husband hits his wife and nobody arrests him because it's a family matter, then when a wife hits her husband once after years of abuse, is that also a family matter? The older officer sighed heavily. He had clearly seen many cases like this. He turned toward Marcus, his tone turning sharp. Marcus, look at yourself. You're huge. Your wife is small. You left her face and body like this. And now that she's hit you once, you call us to arrest her. But she, Marcus stammered. But nothing, the officer cut him off, slamming his hand on the table. With this pile of medical reports, if I open a case, you're the one who's going to jail. Domestic violence. Felony assault. Do you want that? Marcus' face went pale. I'm warning this whole family, the officer said, pointing at the three of them. Start behaving like decent human beings. Don't make us come back. Next time it won't just be a warning. Then he turned to me, his voice softening. Mrs. Rakes, he said. If that man hits you again, come straight to the station with these documents. We'll handle it. Understood. Yes, officer. Thank you, I said, lowering my head and letting tears fall. The two officers left. Marcus, Mrs. Evelyn, and Vanessa stood there in silence, staring at me. Their eyes were now full of hatred and fear. They understood now that the law wasn't on their side anymore. But I knew them. They wouldn't stop. They'd just changed tactics. The rest of the day, the house was quiet, but it was not peaceful. It was the silence before a storm. I heard whispers, angry mutters, and curses from Mrs. Evelyn's room. The three of them, limping Marcus, swollen-faced Vanessa, and shaken Mrs. Evelyn, were plotting. I didn't need to hear every word to know what they were planning. They couldn't beat me by force. The police wouldn't help them. So what was left? Of course, my crazy label. That one is crazy, I heard Mrs. Evelyn say. It's not Grace. It's Ava, the crazy one from the hospital. She escaped. She's pretending to be Grace. Marcus agreed. It's true. Grace is weak as a snail. She could never fight like that. It has to be her crazy sister. My God, Vanessa whispered. No wonder she's so vicious. She did all that to my brother. Shut up, Mrs. Evelyn snapped. Don't say a word. If the neighbors find out, we'll be disgraced. What do we do now, Mom? Marcus asked. We can't live with a crazy woman. She could kill us. Mrs. Evelyn paced around thinking. Then she lowered her voice. What's crazy should return to where it belongs, she said. The plan was forming in her old, rotten mind. We can't catch her ourselves, she continued. But the psychiatric hospital can. We'll call them and tell them Ava escaped and is here. But we can't just call them like this. She's too strong. She'll fight back. And what if she tells them everything? We must weaken her first. Weaken her? Vanessa asked. Like in soap operas, sleeping pills in the food? Exactly, Mrs. Evelyn said, clapping. We'll give her a strong dose of sleeping pills, so she sleeps like a rock. Then we'll tie her up. After that, we'll call Crestwood State Hospital and report that the escaped patient, Ava, is here restrained. They'll come take her at once. But what if she doesn't eat? Marcus worried. She hasn't eaten with us since yesterday. She may not eat, Mrs. Evelyn said, but her daughter will. She smiled wickedly. Tonight, we'll pretend to make peace. I'll apologize. We'll cook a big, special dinner. I'll say I was wrong and we're family again. She's smart. She may not believe it, but she'll pretend. We'll put the pills in a separate soup. A chicken soup. We'll say it's for Luna because she's too skinny. Do you think she won't give it to her daughter? If the child doesn't eat it, she'll have to eat it herself. She can't refuse a kind gift from her mother-in-law. My blood ran cold. They were planning to drug Luna. That night, just like I expected, the dinner was strangely rich. Roast chicken, croquettes, plenty of food. Marcus and Vanessa, both still bruised, sat quietly. Mrs. Evelyn forced a warm smile. Grace, come sit and eat, she said. She put a chicken leg on my plate. What happened yesterday was my fault. I'm sorry. I'm old. Forgive me. Vanessa added in a thin voice. Sister-in-law, I'm sorry too. Please forgive me. Watching their act, I smiled. Yes, mother-in-law. Sister-in-law. I don't hold grudges. We're family, I said gently. Marcus relaxed a little. Eat, Mrs. Evelyn said. Oh, this afternoon I made some chicken soup. It's delicious. I made it especially for Luna. The poor girl is too thin. She brought a small bowl of steaming soup and put it in front of us. You feed it to the child, she said sweetly. Luna's eyes sparkled at the sight of the soup. I looked at Mrs. Evelyn. She was smiling, but her eyes were sharp and cold, locked on the bowl. I took a spoonful of soup. It looks so good. Thank you, mother-in-law, I said. I lifted the spoon. Luna opened her mouth, waiting. I stopped. Ouch, it's hot, I said with a smile. Mommy will blow on it first. I blew on the spoon, and then accidentally moved my hand too fast. Splash. The bowl of hot soup spilled all over the floor. Oh no, I cried, acting shocked. Mother-in-law, I'm so sorry. How clumsy of me. I spilled that nice soup you made. Luna started crying from disappointment. All three of them froze. Their faces went from eager to disappointed to furious. Marcus clenched his fists under the table, but he couldn't do anything. And no problem, Mrs. Evelyn forced out, smiling awkwardly. If it spilled, it spilled. I'll make more later. No need, mother-in-law, I said quickly. I'm already full. You eat. You too, sister-in-law. And you, dear, I added, looking at Marcus. Eat a lot and get your strength back. Dinner ended. Their first plan had failed. I knew they wouldn't stop. Next time, they wouldn't bother with poison. They would try force. That night, I went to bed with Luna in my arms again. I didn't sleep. 10 years in the hospital had taught me to rest with my eyes closed, but my mind awake. In the middle of the night, I heard it, a soft creak. Quiet footsteps. I closed my eyes and pretended to sleep deeply, breathing slow and steady. The door opened without a sound. 3 shadows. Marcus came first, hands bandaged, holding a thick rope, the kind used to tie packages. Vanessa held a roll of duct tape. Mrs. Evelyn carried a towel, probably to gag me. They crept toward the bed. They thought I was the old Grace. Weak. Helpless. Afraid. She's asleep, Marcus whispered. Now. All 3 jumped at once. Marcus threw the rope, Mrs. Evelyn went for my mouth. Vanessa for my legs. Too slow. The moment the rope touched the blanket, I sat up and sprang like a panther. I didn't go for Marcus. He was big but not the real target. I kicked Vanessa first. A double kick to the stomach. Boom. Ah, she gasped. Her heavy body flew back and slammed into the wall. She collapsed, unable to even scream, her mouth wide open, gasping. Mrs. Evelyn froze in fear. The towel fell from her hand. Marcus also stopped. In one quick move, I grabbed the cheap bedside lamp and smashed it onto Marcus's head. Crash! He screamed, grabbing his bleeding head. He didn't expect me to fight like that. You, he stammered. While he was stunned, I slipped behind Mrs. Evelyn and wrapped my arm around her neck, using her as a shield. Marcus! I shouted. One more step and I'll snap your mother's neck. He froze. Blood ran down his face. He looked from me to his mother, who was choking in my hold. Luna woke up and broke into panic sobs. Silence! I roared. Everyone shut up. Marcus shook. No, don't hurt my mother. What do you want? He begged. What do I want? I laughed coldly. What were you going to do with that rope, huh? Tie me up. I dragged Mrs. Evelyn with me and picked up the rope from the floor. Good idea, I said. Let's use it. I shoved Mrs. Evelyn hard into Marcus' arms. Here. Hold her, I said. She fell against him. He held her, shaking. I stepped closer. He backed away, terrified. You, he stuttered. You like games, right? I said. Let's play one. Vanessa finally let out a weak cry. Help, she groaned. Shut up. I barked. Everyone to the living room. Now. I herded them out like ducks, the big man, the fat sister-in-law, and the cruel mother-in-law, forced into the living room by one small woman. Sit, I ordered, pointing to the sofa. They sat shaking. Marcus, I called. Why yes, he replied, trembling like jelly. You're my husband, right? Husbands sleep with their wives. Go to the bedroom. He stared confused. But. Just go, I snapped, pushing him toward the room. Luna was crying in our bed. Little one, come outside, I said gently. I picked her up and took her to the living room. Stay here. Watch TV with Grandma and Auntie. Don't come in, I told her. Then I closed the bedroom door and locked it, from the inside. Now it was just Marcus and me. He backed away, eyes wide. What are you going to do to me? He stammered. The same thing you planned to do to me, I said, lifting the rope. He tried to fight, but his head was still bleeding, and his wrist hurt. I tackled him onto the bed. Using techniques I'd learned at the hospital to restrain violent patients, I tied him quickly. Within minutes, he was tied hand and foot, each limb secured to a corner of the bed. He couldn't move. He stared at me in horror. My sister Grace told me, I whispered in his ear, that you love using a belt. You like rough games. I looked around and found his leather belt. No, please, I'm sorry. I'm begging you, he cried. The violent man began to sob like a child. I didn't care. I stuffed a rag into his mouth. Show quiet. The show is about to start. I left him tied to the bed, gagged and helpless, then turned off the light and walked out of the room. In the living room, Mrs. Evelyn and Vanessa were huddled together on the sofa. They looked pathetic. When they saw me, they jumped. And Marcus? Mrs. Evelyn stammered. What did you do to him? I put on a frightened face. Mother-in-law, sister-in-law, something terrible happened, I said in a shaky voice. Marcus. Marcus. They froze. I tricked him and tied him to the bed. Their eyes widened. I used all my strength to tie him up. But he's too strong. I don't know how long the ropes will hold. If he breaks free, he'll kill me. He'll kill us all. I played my part perfectly, acting scared and desperate. Mrs. Evelyn and Vanessa looked at each other. They didn't trust me completely, but they also feared Marcus. Is he really tied up? Vanessa asked. Yes, I said. But I can't handle him alone. Come help me. He insulted me. And he insulted you too. He said when he breaks free, he'll beat all of us to death. He's crazy. The doubt in their eyes slowly changed to a wicked glint. They hated me now, but they'd always hated Marcus too. They'd seen him humiliated by the police and by me. Deep inside, they wanted to take revenge as well. If Marcus was really tied up, this was their chance to release their anger safely. Mrs. Evelyn stood up. Tied up, she asked. You mean tied to the bed? Yes, I said. Hold him tight, she said, her eyes shining. I'm going to teach that fool a lesson. How dare he scare his own mother? So she hated her useless son too. But this plan wasn't good enough. I needed to change the script. They had to think I was the one tied up, not Marcus. I quickly shook my head. No, that's not it, I said, pretending to panic. I tried to tie him, but he overpowered me. He tied me to the bed. He wants to kill me. Mother-in-law, sister-in-law, help me. He's insane. He hit his head and lost his mind. He's looking for a knife. This version was more believable. Mrs. Evelyn and Vanessa's eyes lit up. A tied-up daughter-in-law. A crazy son with a knife. To them, that sounded like a golden opportunity. And I watched their expressions change, knowing exactly the trap they were walking into. She's tied up. Vanessa sneered. Good. Very good. Where is she tied? Mrs. Evelyn asked, her hands shaking with excitement. In the bedroom. Very tight. I can't move, I pretended, fake sobbing. Mom. Vanessa turned to Mrs. Evelyn. This is our chance. Let's give that witch a serious beating and knock the disrespect out of her. Yes, Mrs. Evelyn nodded. She dared to hit me and made my son drink that filth. She clenched her teeth. Get a stick. Today I'll beat her to death. Vanessa ran to the kitchen and came back with a hard wooden mop handle. Mrs. Evelyn grabbed a bamboo cane she usually used to hang clothes. The room is dark, I said in a shaky voice. Even better, Vanessa replied proudly. In the dark, we can beat her and she won't even know who's doing it. The two women, armed and thirsty for blood, marched straight to the bedroom. I moved back and slipped into a corner. I took out my phone and opened the camera. Video recording started. The small red light came on. Open the door, Mrs. Evelyn ordered. I opened it with trembling hands. Mother-in-law, sister-in-law, help me, I cried weakly. Help? Ask for help in hell, Mrs. Evelyn snapped. They rushed into the dark room. All they could see was a body tied to the bed, moving and letting out a muffled groan. They thought it was me. Die, you crazy woman, Vanessa shouted. She was the first to attack. She lifted the mop handle and started beating the person on the bed with all her strength. Boom, boom, boom. You dare hit me? You dare slap me? She screamed as she struck. Mrs. Evelyn wasn't far behind. She swung the bamboo cane and hit his legs, his sides, wherever she could reach. I'll beat that insolence out of you so you know who runs this house, she yelled. Boom. Splat. Boom. The sound of wood hitting flesh. The sound of impact. I'm pretty sure I heard bones cracking. Marcus choked under the gag. He couldn't scream. He could only let out strangled sounds. Ugh. But the more he groaned, the more the two women believed it was me, and the harder they hit. Cry. Scream louder. Vanessa shouted. I'll teach you how to keep quiet. I stood in the doorway, recording everything clearly. After about 5 minutes of filming, I noticed Marcus had stopped struggling. His body wasn't moving anymore. That was enough. I walked in and flipped on the light. Cold white light filled the room. Mrs. Evelyn and Vanessa froze, sticks still in their hands. They blinked and finally saw who was tied to the bed. Bloody, gagged, bruised. It was Marcus. Their son. Their brother. Ah. Vanessa screamed first. She dropped the stick and stumbled backward, her face white as paper. Mrs. Evelyn was in shock. She stared at Marcus, then slowly turned to me. I was standing by the door with my phone in my hand, the red recording light still blinking. "You hit well, mother-in-law," I said with a smile. "Hit even harder. I recorded everything. You and your daughter just committed felony assault. 2 people, with weapons, against your own son and brother." I lifted the phone. "With this video, I can say Marcus kidnapped me, and that while you tried to rescue me, you beat the wrong person. Do you think the police will believe that story or this video?" Mrs. Evelyn's legs gave out, and she dropped to the floor. This time she didn't faint. She just lost control. She peed on herself. The whole room filled with the smell of her urine, mixed with Marcus's low groans and Vanessa's panicked breathing. Calmly, I put my phone away in my pocket. I leaned toward Vanessa and lightly patted her pale cheek. "Sister-in-law, since you're done beating now," I said softly, "you should probably call an ambulance for the victim. I think you broke your brother's bones." Vanessa jumped and stuttered. You told us. You set us up." "Yes," I said laughing. "I set a trap for you. I tied Marcus up, and then I asked you to help me hold him down. I didn't tell you to grab sticks and beat him together. You chose that yourselves." With a lot of excitement, I might add. I turned to Mrs. Evelyn. She was still on the floor shaking. "Mother-in-law," I said, "so what now? Should we call 911 first, or the paramedics?" I didn't wait for an answer. I took out my phone again. First, I called the police. "Hello, station? This is Grace Rakes from East Side, number X Street," I said in a worried voice. "I'm calling to report an emergency. A serious assault just happened in my house. The victim is my husband, Marcus, and the attackers are his own mother and sister, Mrs. Evelyn EIA and Vanessa. They beat him with sticks, and I think they've broken his bones. Please come quickly. I'm afraid they'll kill him." I hung up. The 2 women just stared at me, speechless. Then I called the ambulance. "Hello, 911. I need an ambulance at this address. The patient was beaten by a group. I suspect broken ribs and a head injury." When I finished the calls, I pulled a chair into the middle of the living room, right in front of the bedroom door, and sat down. I folded my arms and waited. Mrs. Evelyn finally reacted. Reality hit her. She realized what she had done and started screaming. "You crazy demon. You've destroyed my family." She tried to rush at me. I simply raised my phone. "Go ahead, hit me again, mother-in-law. Hit me too and make it complete," I said calmly. "That way, when the police arrive, they'll arrest all of you together." She stopped in her tracks. Vanessa staggered up and ran back to the bedroom. She shook Marcus's body. "Brother, wake up. Don't scare me," she cried. Soon, sirens echoed in the alley. A police car and an ambulance arrived almost at the same time. The narrow street lit up with blue and red lights in the middle of the night. The neighbors, already used to noise from this house, peeped through their windows and doors, curious. The same 2 police officers from yesterday walked in, this time with 2 security agents. "Who is Mrs. Rakes?" the older officer asked seriously. "That's me," I said, stepping forward. "What happened? Another fight?" he asked. "No," I shook my head. "Not this time. It wasn't me. They fought among themselves." The paramedics rushed in with a stretcher. When their flashlights fell on Marcus, they were shocked too. The big man was now a bloody, limp mess. Clothes torn, body still tied to the bed. "What on earth happened here?" the younger officer exclaimed. "Who tied this man up?" "I did," I replied calmly. "He tried to hit me, so I tied him up. I did it in self-defense." "And after tying him up, what did you do?" the older officer asked. "Nothing," I answered. "I went out and asked my mother-in-law and sister-in-law for help. I told them Marcus was tied up and asked them to come and help me." "Liar!" Vanessa screamed from the doorway. "She tricked us. She said she was the one tied up." I shrugged. "She can say whatever she wants now," I said. I have proof. Just then one of the officers cut the ropes with a knife. Marcus moved a little and whispered weakly, "My side. Mom. Vanessa." He lifted a shaking finger and pointed at the two women, then passed out. The paramedics quickly lifted him onto the stretcher. One of them turned to the officers and said, "He's in serious condition. At least 2 broken ribs and a head injury." The older officer turned to Mrs. Evelyn and Vanessa. "Mrs. Evelyn, Miss Vanessa, what happened here?" he demanded. She tricked us." Mrs. Evelyn wailed. "She's crazy. She escaped from the psychiatric hospital. She made us hit my son." "Officer, she's the one behind all this." "Yes," I nodded calmly. "I'm crazy. Are you going to believe my words? Or would you rather watch this?" I took out my phone and played the video. All 4 officers and the security guards leaned in to watch. They clearly saw the dark room. They heard my voice. "Mother-in-law, sister-in-law, help me." They heard the 2 women shouting, "Die, you crazy woman. You dare to hit me? I'll shut you up." They saw Vanessa hitting nonstop with the mop handle. They saw Mrs. Evelyn hitting over and over with the bamboo cane. No mercy at all. The older officer's face turned from serious to gray. He had worked for years, but seeing a mother and a sister beat their own son and brother like that was too much even for him. He stopped the video. "That's enough," he said coldly. He turned toward the 2 women, his eyes like ice. "Mrs. Evelyn. Miss Vanessa. We have the video as evidence. We also have the victim's statement," he said. "Both of you will have to come with us to the station." "I'm not going," Vanessa cried. "I'm innocent. She tricked me." She squirmed in panic. "Innocent or not, you'll explain that at the station," the older officer replied. The younger officer took out the handcuffs. "Officers, help me," he said to the others. When Mrs. Evelyn saw the handcuffs, she went pale and fainted for real this time. "No problem," the older officer said calmly. "The paramedics are right here. Put her in the ambulance and wake her up. When she comes around, bring her straight to the station." Everything turned chaotic. Vanessa was dragged away screaming and cursing, making noise up and down the alley. Mrs. Evelyn was carried out on a stretcher like a sack of potatoes. The neighbors whispered and pointed. "My God," one said. "In the rake's house, the mother and daughter beat the son? How wicked. And the daughter-in-law is the good one," another added. "Karma is real." I stood by the door, Luna sleeping in my arms, watching everything. I smiled to myself. Sometimes justice actually works. The next morning, the house was strangely quiet. Marcus was in the hospital. Mrs. Evelyn and Vanessa were in a cell. According to the news from the station, with such clear evidence of felony assault, the 2 women would be held for at least 7 days while the case was investigated. They could only be released if the victim, Marcus, decided to drop the charges. But right now, Marcus probably preferred to stay in the hospital than come back to this house. So in this hellhole, only Luna, Mason, and I were left. Mason had slept in his mother's room. In last night's chaos, nobody had even thought about him. In the morning, he woke up and realized his grandmother, his mother, and his uncle Marcus were all gone. He came out and saw me making breakfast for Luna. "Where's my mom?" he demanded with his usual attitude. "And Grandma? Why are you making fried eggs? Those are mine." He tried to rush to the table. Luna saw Mason and instinctively shrank back, hugging her plate tightly. I put down the frying pan, turned, and stepped in front of Mason. "Good morning, Mason," I said calmly. "Move," he yelled. "Where's my mom?" "You hit my mom. I'll tell Grandma. She'll beat you up." I crouched down to his height. Mason listened to me carefully. I said, my tone serious now. I didn't call him nephew anymore. "The police took your mother and your grandmother away." Mason froze. "That's a lie," he snapped. "I don't lie," I said, staring straight into his eyes. "Your mother and your grandmother did something bad. They picked up sticks and beat your uncle Marcus so badly they broke his bones. That's why the police came, handcuffed them, and took them away. Now they're in jail." Mason's proud expression slowly changed to confusion, then fear. No matter how spoiled a child is, without adults around, they are very small. Very weak. No, you're lying. My mom and grandma. He started to cry. They're in jail because they did bad things, I said quietly. Just like you. Me? What did I do wrong? He shouted, neck veins popping. You abused Luna, I said, still calm. You took her toys. You pushed her. You spat in her food. You pulled her hair too, didn't you? Mason stepped back. He was scared now. He had no idea how I knew. You did wrong because you copied the adults, I continued. You saw your grandmother, your mother, and your uncle abusing Grace and Luna. And you thought you also had the right to bully Luna. I pointed at the little girl. But tell me, what did Luna ever do to you? She's younger and weaker than you. Why did you hit her? Mason didn't answer. He just lowered his head. Your mother and grandmother are in jail for doing bad things, I said. Do you want them to come and take you too? Do you want to go to jail? No, he whispered, shaking his head quickly. No, I don't. Good, I said, standing up. Then from today, you're going to relearn how to behave. I led him to stand in front of Luna. She was still scared, watching him closely. Apologize to Luna, I said. Mason hesitated. Years of bad habits don't disappear in 1 second. I frowned. Or should I call the same police from yesterday? He panicked. I'm sorry, he mumbled, looking at Luna with a tiny voice. Who are you apologizing to? Say it properly, I said. I'm sorry, Luna, he repeated. Still not good enough, I said, shaking my head. You're the older cousin. Luna is the younger one. In this house, Grace and Luna have suffered a lot, and Luna has been very scared. From now on, you'll call her Queen Luna. What? Mason blinked, confused. Queen Luna, I repeated. And you are Sir Mason. Do you know what a knight's job is? To protect, he guessed. Exactly, I said. To protect the queen. Now, Sir Mason, apologize to Queen Luna for scaring her yesterday. Mason was still afraid of me, but the game idea caught his interest. He took a small breath. Queen Luna, he said. Sir Mason apologizes to your majesty. Luna looked at him, then at me, then she suddenly burst into laughter. A clear, bright laugh. The first real laugh in that house. Mason, seeing the queen laugh, relaxed a little. Good, I nodded. Now, Sir Mason, get a plate and have breakfast. After that, you and the queen will play together. And remember, the knight must share his toys with the queen. Understood? Yes, Mason said quickly. He quietly took a plate. I served him food. As he ate, he kept sneaking glances at Luna. I knew it wouldn't be easy to change him, but at least I had planted something in him. The seed of fear and respect. Sometimes, before you teach someone kindness, you have to teach them fear. A week went by. For the first time, the house started to feel like a real home. I made Mason clean his own room. I cooked proper meals. Luna started laughing and talking again. She and Mason played together while I watched. Mason, the spoiled boy, now knew he had to give way to the queen. On the 8th day, Marcus was discharged from the hospital. He came home limping, with a bandage around his head, his ribs in a cast, and his arm in a sling. He walked in quietly. When he saw me sitting in the living room reading, he froze at the door, too scared to come in. Come in, dear, I said without even looking up. What are you afraid of? This is your house. He tiptoed in, shaking. He looked around. The house was clean. His daughter, Luna, was watching TV. She looked healthier and brighter. Mason was sitting beside her, coloring. Queen, Sir Mason is hungry, Mason said playfully. Knight, wait a bit, Luna replied. Her Majesty is finishing this cartoon. Marcus stared eyes wide. He had no idea what he was seeing. He went straight to his room and shut the door. He didn't dare challenge me. He knew now he was the most useless person in that house. Beaten by me. Beaten by his own mother and sister. He could no longer pretend to be the king of anything. 2 days later, after finishing their 7 days in the cell, Mrs. Evelyn and Vanessa were released. Not because they were innocent. They were freed because Marcus dropped the charges. He was scared. Scared of being left alone with me if his mother and sister went to jail. He decided it was safer to bring those 2 monsters back, than to stay in the house with me, the demon. The two women came back looking miserable. 7 days locked up was pure hell for people who had never suffered a day in their lives. Their hair was greasy. Their clothes smelled bad. Their pride and arrogance were gone. Only tiredness, fear, and bitter hatred remained. They saw me and said nothing. They saw Marcus hiding in his room and said nothing. Nobody talked. This family was completely broken. That night, I was tucking Luna into bed when the door opened. Marcus, Mrs. Evelyn, and Vanessa walked in all limping. I put my finger to my lips. "Shh. The child is sleeping," I whispered. I stepped out into the living room and sat down on a chair. "What is it?" I asked. The three of them looked at each other. Then something I never expected happened. Mrs. Evelyn, the wicked mother-in-law, fell to her knees. "Mom!" Marcus and Vanessa cried, shocked. "Shut up," she snapped at them. She lifted her head and looked at me. Her once harsh eyes were now full of exhaustion, shame, and desperation. "Grace or Ava," she said in a hoarse voice. "I don't care who you are. I beg you, please. I'm pleading with you." Vanessa saw her mother kneel and broke down crying too. She dropped to her knees. "Sister-in-law, I'm begging you," she sobbed. "Please save this family." Marcus, with his ribs broken, couldn't kneel properly, but he bent over as far as he could. "Forgive me," he said weakly. "I'll give you a divorce. Please leave. We'll give you whatever you want, just go." The same family that had tortured my sister for 7 years was now on their knees, begging me to disappear. Looking at them, I felt no joy, just a strange emptiness. "All right," I said. "We'll divorce." At that word, all three of them exhaled in relief, like prisoners who just escaped a death sentence. Yes, divorce," Mrs. Evelyn said quickly. Tomorrow we'll fix the papers. You pack your things and leave." "I should go." I raised an eyebrow. "Mother-in-law, do you really think it's that simple?" I stood up and began to walk slowly. My sister Grace married into this house 7 years ago. 7 years working like a beast. 7 years of insults and beatings. Her daughter Luna is only 3, and she has been slapped, starved, and abused. And now you think a simple divorce solves everything. "So what do you want?" Marcus asked, shaking. "Money? Is it money?" "Yes," I said firmly. "We'll end this cleanly with money. We're no longer family." I raised 3 fingers. "First, child support. Luna is 3 years old. Grace will raise her until she's 18. That's 15 years. You are the father. You are responsible." "How much?" Marcus whispered. "Grace isn't asking for much," I said. $2,500 a month, for food, school, and medical bills. That's $2,500 a month, times 12 months, times 15 years. That's $450,000. But we'll make it $350,000 in one lump sum. $350,000? Vanessa screamed. "You're a thief. Where are we supposed to get that kind of money?" I ignored her and raised 2 more fingers. "Second, marital property. When they got married, my parents gave Grace $100,000. Grace handed all that money to you, mother-in-law, to pay off the mortgage on this house. Now that they're divorcing, that money has to be returned. Plus $30,000 that Grace earned working for 7 years. That's $130,000. Better just kill us," Mrs. Evelyn shouted. "We don't have that money. You're cornering us." "Cornering you?" I smiled coldly. "Compared to what you did to Grace, this is mercy." I lifted another finger. "And third, compensation for moral damages. 7 years of beatings, strangling, broken bones, and humiliation. The price of all that pain." I stared directly into Mrs. Evelyn's eyes. $140,000, I said. Child support, $350,000. House money, $130,000. Moral damages, $140,000. Total, $620,000. And the divorce papers signed by Marcus. If you give me all of that, Luna and I will disappear from this house. $620,000? The 3 of them looked like they had been electrocuted. "You're insane. Marcus shouted. Just kill us instead. I'd rather go to jail. We don't have that kind of money. You don't have money? I laughed. You don't have money for your daughter-in-law and your granddaughter. But you do have money hidden for your daughter, right, mother-in-law? Mrs. Evelyn flinched. What? What are you talking about? She muttered. You don't understand me? I walked closer. When your husband died in that work accident, the company paid insurance money. A big amount. $900,000. Right. Marcus and Vanessa snapped their heads toward her, stunned. Mom, Vanessa stammered. 900,000. What money? Mom, you had money? Marcus added, confused. Shut up. Shut up, both of you. Mrs. Evelyn shouted in panic. She's lying. She's making things up. Making it up? I smiled. You hid it very well. You didn't put it in the bank because you didn't want your children to find out. You wrapped it in 7 layers of plastic, put it in a jar, and hid it in the kitchen shed, among the firewood. Am I wrong? Mrs. Evelyn's face turned completely white. Marcus and Vanessa said nothing. They quietly stood up, looked at each other, and ran to the kitchen shed. I heard things being moved, wood falling, banging sounds. A few minutes later, Vanessa came back. In her hands was a jar black with soot. She dumped it on the floor with shaking hands. Money. A lot of money. Bundles of $500 notes, carefully wrapped in plastic. Mom, Vanessa whispered, trembling. Money. It's real money. Marcus stared at the pile, then at his mother. Mom, he said, voice shaking. You hid this from me. You let me drown in debts. You watched me gamble and lose everything, while you had $900,000 hidden. Vanessa, Mrs. Evelyn yelled. I was saving it for you too. Marcus is a gambling addict. If I gave it to him, he'd waste it all. You old witch. Marcus roared. Splat. Vanessa slapped him. Shut up, she shouted. And if she gave it to me? What are you? A wife beater. You dare shout at me? You dare hit me? Marcus yelled back, losing control. I'll beat you to death. They both jumped at each other, punching, scratching, pulling hair, screaming. Mrs. Evelyn collapsed on the floor, crying. My family is ruined, she sobbed. My children are fighting over money. I watched the second part of their family drama calmly. This time, the reason wasn't love or hate. It was money. I cleared my throat. Ahem. They all stopped. I pointed at the cash on the floor. $620,000, I said clearly. I'm giving you 3 days. Prepare the money and the divorce papers. Otherwise, I raised my phone. This video of my mother-in-law and sister-in-law beating Marcus, and this happy family story, I can spread it everywhere, around the neighborhood, to the city council, even to online news pages. The choice is yours. 3 days later, I got $620,000 in cash, neatly packed inside a suitcase, and the divorce papers already signed by Marcus. All 3 of them had bruises all over their faces. It looked like the fight over the rest of the $900,000, after my share was removed, had been very serious in those 3 days. Here's the money and here are the papers, Mrs. Evelyn said in a tired voice. Now go. Disappear from our sight. I didn't waste words. I counted the money, kept the papers, then went to the room to get Luna's things, which I had already packed the day before. Just a small suitcase. Luna, I said, lifting her into my arms. Say goodbye to this place. We're going to find Mommy. Luna was a bit confused, but happy. She hugged me tightly. Yes, let's go and find Mommy, Grace, she said. I picked up Luna and the suitcase full of money and walked out of that hellish house. I didn't look back even once. I stopped a taxi. Crestwood State Hospital. I told the driver. When we arrived, the smell of disinfectant was the same as always. But today I wasn't the crazy woman who had escaped. Today I was a free woman. I walked toward my cell. No, toward Grace's cell. But on the way, I saw something strange in the common room where I used to sit for hours without moving. Today there were flowers and a cake. The hospital director and several nurses were gathered around someone. It was Grace. She was still wearing a patient's uniform, but her face was glowing. She was smiling for real, talking with people and thanking them. Congratulations, Ava, the director said, shaking my sister's hand. It's incredible. A miraculous recovery. Grace saw me and ran to hug me and Luna. Ava, you're back. Luna, my baby, she said, kissing the girl. I froze. Sister, what's going on? I asked. The director looked at me. Ah, you must be Grace, Ava's twin sister, he said. You two look exactly the same. You came to pick her up? Very good. He turned to me proudly. I have wonderful news, he said. Your sister Ava is completely cured. Cured? I repeated, shocked. Yes, the doctor nodded. Last week we had our regular psychological evaluation. Ava, no sorry Grace, took the test and passed with an excellent score. All her psychological indicators are stable. She's completely normal. We watched her for another week. She talks well, her emotions are stable. She's not crazy anymore. We're processing her discharge today. I looked at Grace. She gave me a small wink. I understood. My sister Grace was never crazy. She was just crushed by fear. While I spent 10 years here learning to control my anger, she spent 10 years out there learning to swallow her fear. When she came into my safe cell, away from the beatings and insults, she could finally be herself. And when they gave her the psychological tests, she answered like the normal woman she really is. So of course she passed. She had healed under my name, Ava. Yes, yes, I said, holding back my tears. I'm here to take my sister home. The doctor signed the final paper and handed it politely to my sister. Here is the discharge letter, he said. From today, Ava is completely free. Grace took the paper, looked at me, and we both started laughing softly. That piece of paper didn't only free Ava. It freed both of us. I, Grace, was now officially divorced. My sister Ava was officially cured. I picked up the suitcase full of money. Grace picked up Luna. Thank you, director. Thank you, everyone, Grace said, nodding to them. I owe you all so much. We turned around. The three of us, hand in hand, walked out of the common room, down the long hallway, and toward the iron gate. It was really over. Both of our hells were behind us. The heavy iron door closed behind us with one last creak. The bright summer sun poured over us. I raised my hand to shield my eyes. The last time I escaped, this sun smelled like war. This time it smelled like freedom. It felt warm. It smelled like trees, like life. Luna rested her head on her mother's shoulder. Mommy, Auntie Ava, where are we going now? She asked. Grace looked at me, and I looked back at her. In each other's eyes we saw confusion, but even more we saw hope. Grace said, her voice still shaking. We are going home. Home? I asked. Where is that? Grace smiled. Anywhere the three of us are together, she said. That's our home. I burst out laughing. You're right, I said. But first we need somewhere to wash and sleep. Somewhere very clean. I stopped another taxi. Please take us to the best hotel in this area, I told the driver. We rented a big hotel room with a bathtub and white sheets. When the door closed and shut out the noisy world, Grace finally let go. She put Luna down, then collapsed onto the floor and started crying. She sobbed like she was pouring out the 7 years of fear, insults, and beatings that had been sitting inside her bones. I sat beside her quietly and hugged her. Luna wrapped her small arms around both of us. Mommy, don't cry, she said. Auntie Ava and Luna are here. We stayed like that, all three of us holding each other, crying and then laughing in between tears. After a long bath, we ordered room service. Plenty of food, roast chicken, soup, cake. For the first time, the three of us ate a proper meal without fear, without watching the door, without shaking. Luna got cake all over her face and laughed so loudly. Her clear, ringing laughter was like fresh spring water washing away the darkness from our hearts. That night, I put the suitcase of money on the table. $620,000, I said. Sister, this is your money and Luna's. Grace shook her head. It's not just ours, she said. If it wasn't for you, my daughter and I would probably be dead. Ava, you saved my life. We saved each other, I said, taking her hand. Now we have to live. And live very well for our parents too. The next day we went shopping. The first thing we did was throw away the old clothes. I threw away my patient's uniform. Grace threw away the worn-out clothes from her married life. We bought new clothes, bright and colorful dresses. We bought pretty outfits for Luna. We looked like three completely different people. We didn't buy a house right away. Even though we had the money, we knew we needed time to breathe and think. So I rented a small apartment in another neighborhood, far away from that dark alley. An apartment on a high floor, full of sunlight. We decorated it ourselves. We bought a new bed for Luna, and a big bookshelf. For 10 years, my only friends were books, I told Grace. Now I want to read all the books in the world. Grace found herself again too. She had always been good at sewing. She bought a sewing machine and started making dresses for Luna, curtains for the house, little things for the home. Our small apartment started to feel warmer and cozier every day. Luna began going to daycare. At first she was shy, but soon she made friends. She was a bright, loving child, and she wasn't afraid anymore. One evening at sunset, I was on the balcony reading a book. Grace was in the kitchen cooking dinner. The smell of fish stew drifted out. But this time it was a stew cooked with love, not the salty stew of hatred. Luna was on the floor coloring. Grace brought out a plate of fruit. "What are you reading?" she asked. "A law book," I said with a small smile. "I think I should understand a few things now." "Are you still angry?" Grace asked carefully. I closed the book and looked at the Luna glowing in orange and pink. "Yes, I'm still angry," I said. "Angry at that trash. Angry about the 10 years I was locked up." Then I turned to her. "But that anger doesn't burn me like before," I said. "Now it's more like a small coal. It just reminds me how strong I was, and that I will never let anyone step on you, on Luna, or on me again." Grace smiled softly. "Ava," she said, "you don't have to be crazy anymore or act tough all the time. Here, you just need to be Ava, my sister." I nodded. I understood. My so-called madness was never an illness. It was resistance. The madness wasn't in me. It was in that family, in those empty, cruel people. We didn't run away from madness. We escaped the cage of the beasts. I looked at Grace smiling and at Luna humming a little song. 10 years in the dark. All for one sunrise. It came late, but it was still bright. Our new life was just beginning. You know, for years people called me crazy. They locked me away because I felt too much, and decided that someone like me didn't belong in this world. But sometimes feeling too much is the only thing that keeps you human. If I hadn't felt every bit of my sister's pain, if I hadn't let that pain burn inside me, maybe I would never have had the courage to act. I didn't fight only for Grace or for little Luna. I fought for every woman who has ever been silenced. For every person who has been told to endure it and keep quiet. Looking back, I've learned that strength is not just about how hard you can hit. It's about how deeply you can love, even when love hurts. It's about refusing to let fear control your life. Sometimes you have to become the storm, so that other people can finally see the light. And you know what? I'm not ashamed of what I did. Because now, for the first time, Grace and Luna can wake up without fear. For the first time, that little girl can laugh instead of flinching. Maybe justice doesn't always show up wearing a uniform or holding a gavel. Sometimes justice looks like your own face. The face of someone who finally says, "Enough." If there's one thing I've learned, it's this. No one deserves to live in silence. You can stay quiet and let the pain eat you from the inside. Or you can stand up, even if you're shaking, and say, "No more." The moment you say that, your world starts to change, even if it's just your own small corner. If you agree with me and you enjoyed this story, show it by giving this video a like. Let's see how many of us feel the same way. I'm also curious, which city are you listening from, and what time is it there right now? Tell me in the comments. Thank you for listening and for giving me your precious time. For more life stories like this, you can watch other videos on my channel and hit subscribe. On your screen, you'll see 2 more stories I know you'll enjoy. Click on one and start watching right away. Love to you.